Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to the next session. In today's class, we are going to discuss about few of the real-time scenarios of MDG workflows. So I will discuss one by one. So I would like to hear from you if you can have any approach in mind, or if you have any doubts, you can reach out. Okay, let's have this as an interactive session. First one. So here, okay, it is for the material creation. We need to, the business first need to identify if there is a need to create a new material. So simply they can't go and create the material, right? If it is required, then only they have to initiate the process. Okay, business identified the need to create the material, and then they initiated the process, creating the new material by creating a new change request. Now, once the request is submitted, okay, there is a approval. Now, so far we had seen various flow diagrams, process flow. There I have clearly mentioned that this is the requester step, reviewer step, approver step. But that is not the case in the real time. This is how it is going to be in the real time. Here it is mentioned approved after submission. So that means you need to understand here there is an approval step. If approval is success, then perform the validation checks in background. So this is the activation step. Okay, whether activation is successful or failed. Failed means roll back the changes. Successful means we need to send a notification to the requester, an email notification. Then close the workflow. So now, first question, how many dialog steps are there in this process flow? Just look at this. First understand the requirement. So
Only
you,
one. If you don't consider submit as a dialog step.
levels is different, steps is different. So I'm asking how many steps are there, dialog steps?
Only one.
Okay. Any other answers from anyone?
I guess it is a 2 steps.
Okay. What are they?
So the moment a requester submits a CR,
No, you
so
can just say the step names. That's it.
the validation success step will have either it approved by the evaluator, and then it will go to the material creation box, which is mentioned in green. If the evaluator rejects a CR, it has to be rolled to the rollback to the requester. So there are 2 steps involved here.
So again, my question, what are the 2 steps? Because you did not answer straightly to my question.
Oh.
This is how the interview is also going to be. So that's why I'm asking like this. Don't mind.
Okay.
When I ask what are the 2 steps, you just need to straight away say the step names. That's it. In interviews, we should not tell the background history and all. So few people may not accept that one. Few people are okay. So just consider these things as some tips for the interviews also. Okay.
Okay, Venkat. So I supposed to say that yes or no step. There are 2 steps.
No. My question was how many dialogue steps are there? That's it.
Okay.
One is the approve stage that
Okay.
in the user presentation of the will message one is approved,
Mm-hmm. And another?
Another is that activation that is, but second is not required. I think so. Only one is required, approved only.
Okay. So let me give you the answer. So here, when I ask how many dialog steps are there are two dialog steps. One is while creating the change request, who creates that? Requester. Requester submits. That is a
Okay,
dialog step.
one is app reviewers. Yeah.
And another approval step. Once approval is done, we trigger the activation. So this one background, this one will take care in the background. These are not dialog steps. These are background steps. These both three related to the activation. So when I say how many dialog steps are there, 2 steps. So it is a 2-step workflow. And when I ask how many levels are there, you need to consider only the approval levels. Only one approval is required. Is that clear?
Clear, Venkat. Sorry.
No need to sorry. It's just brainstorming kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we'll maintain user agent interval, then we'll maintain only as a alias on that approve only, right?
No.
The condition alias, that
That
only one.
that is different. That is how you design. That doesn't
Ah,
matter. When it comes
okay.
to the process flow, dialog steps means at how many steps user is interacting, user is taking the action. Just consider that.
Understood. Okay.
Okay. Background steps, our direct involvement won't be required. Simple. Now, by looking at this process flow diagram, can anyone tell me your approach in designing this one? No need to go in very detail, just high level steps. That's it. In interview also, you just need to tell the high level steps only. Just consider this is an interview and this has been given you as a question. Now, what is your approach at high level? Very high level, okay? Just try. If you say wrong also, don't worry. That's fine, no issues. I'll correct it. Otherwise, you will face the problems in the interviews.
Please repeat the question once again. Venkat.
In single decision table, I go with submit and approve steps.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to user agent, I just go with approved step.
Mm-hmm.
And in background step, I'll go with validation success and 31 and 30.
Okay.
Yeah. And notification as well.
Okay. So,
I think whatever databases we have, we'll maintain in that user relation table. And the same thing, that actions that whatever you're taking, that same thing will maintain in that condition areas as a user agent table. Dialog actually will maintain that non-user table. And whatever background activity perform, we'll maintain in that third table that I will forget your name. And for the notification things, we'll maintain that the body that is system call method body in that non-user table.
okay.
And whatever that version checks are there, that accordingly we need to, as per the requirement, we maintain that backend logics. What about the that background version checks need to be performed.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the steps that high level.
Okay. So now I'll just made some corrections to your statements, whatever you guys have given. And I'll put it in this way. Okay. To achieve this one, we need to design 2-step workflow process in the rule-based workflow. I'll create a 2-step BRF plus application, requester and approver. And from approver, we need to perform the validation, nothing but the activation. Once the activation is successful, we need to implement the system caller body to trigger the email notification. And if activation fails, we'll roll back the changes. That's it. You can just say like this. If they ask specifically which decision table you will use, then you can go with the decision tables. If someone asks explain at high level, you can just say like this. If someone asks, explain in detail of your approach, then you can dig into the decision tables. After telling this, first you need to tell the high level process. Then if they ask to explain in detail, then you can start from, okay, in single validation table, we maintain these process flows. Then in user agent, we maintain this, non-user agent, we maintain this. We create the system call or service. Then we implement the body and assign that as a filter. There we will write the logic to trigger the email notification to the requester. So is that clear?
Yes, got
Everyone?
it. Got it.
Now, moving on to the next. So here I have just taken one example as material, but you can correlate this to any other master data. Not a problem.
Venkat, is it possible to just put this into the PPT, these steps that you said to that?
You can notice it, no issues. Okay. The another one. So here, approval step got the rejection. So just whatever we discussed earlier, it's remains same. Only the thing is, approver got the rejection scenario. Once the approver rejects, it goes back to the requester for the revision. That's it. So the third requirement, if you see, there is a replication involved. Okay, we need to configure the replication. That's it. That we will see during the DRF chapter, how many ways to configure the replication, how many ways we can trigger the replication and everything. Just keep this as a reference till we discuss the DRF. Now, so here, this is what we discussed in our yesterday's session, parallel workflows. But I got the exact names, roles names from the real time. So these three we had seen already: finance reviewer, logistics reviewer, maintenance reviewer. And this complete step, whatever the merge step we had discussed, that is not here. Keep that in mind. So here, one small change is, yesterday we discussed request step, merge step, final approval. But here this is not the case. Requester submits, it goes to 3 parallel reviewers. And once all approves, it should go to the business reviewer. There is one more reviewer step. And once a business reviewer approves, then it should go to another approver, enterprise approver. So if someone asks how many steps workflow it is, this is one. The entire parallel split we can consider as another step, 2, 3, 4. It is a 4 steps workflow process. How many levels? This is one level, which is splitted into 3 sub-levels. Second level approval, third level approval. So we discussed 3 steps parallel workflow, but here it is 4 steps. Merge step is not mentioned here. In our earlier diagram, I had mentioned just for your understanding purpose. But whenever there is a parallel split, you need to consider this is a merge step itself, the combination of the results. Just have a look at this.
Splitting the workflow and merging the workflow in parallel, that is, I think, mandatory steps, right? Okay. Whether it is mentioned or not, that
was the
we need to take care
detail.
as well.
That was the detailed flow diagram for our understanding purpose. But in real time, you won't get like that.
Okay. Yeah.
The main purpose of this session is to show you how the process flow diagrams would be in the real time. Because the reality is different, our class explanation is different. In our class, we need to know everything in detail. That's why I elaborate the process flow diagrams also to another level. Okay. So here you need to imagine this itself is a split step, and this circle, whatever is it, that is the merge step. That's it. So once all are approved, then it goes to another level of workflow. Okay. If you want to business will give you the process flow diagrams like this, or they might ask you to draw the diagrams. So what you need to do is, once the high level diagram is there, then based on that you can further elaborate this as per your understanding. Okay, maybe you can add some merge step or anything, whatever you wish. Because think from business perspective, they don't know all these concepts of merge step, merge action. They don't know all these things. For them, once the requester submits, it goes to the 3 people. Once 3 are approved, then send it to the business reviewer. That's it. From business perspective, this is the scenario. But from MDG consultant perspective, once all 3 are approved, then merge these results and define one merge step and define the merge action, then send it to the business reviewer. So here that you can add based on your understanding. I hope you got it. Any other questions on this requirement? Okay, now I'm moving on to the next requirement. So it's the same thing, but 2 other things are added. One is rejection at business reviewer level, not at the parallel split level. If business reviewer rejects, an email notification has to be sent to the requester. And if enterprise approver approves, then also an email notification has to be sent and then go to the activation. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me your approach to design this one at high level? It's a bit a tricky requirement, but I just want to hear from you. Just have a look at this and let me know your approach at high level. First, you need to identify how many steps are there. So few clients will consider these also as main steps only, but it's up to you how you can interpret this one, whether you want to consider this complete as one step or you want to consider these also as a different steps. Okay. If you ask me, I would say this complete one as one step, because the main step we are splitting into 3 sub steps. So that is my recommendation, but few clients may agree or may not agree. Even though they call it as 3 steps or one step, that doesn't have any impact on our design. Our design is going to be same. It's just for the communication. That's it. Just a word, nothing much. Anyone got any idea about the design?
Venkat, we'll have a 3-step workflow in this.
No, your voice is coming from very far. I can't hear you at all.
It's a 3-step workflow, and number of levels also is
No.
1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 4 steps, right? Because there are 4
Yeah.
dialogue steps. So
Yeah.
there are 4-step workflow. Number of approvals will be 3, right?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 3 levels of approval, and at every level we will have no. So at the business reviewer and the enterprise approver level, we will have the option to go back to the requester in case.
No, 1 second, small correction. So you should not go directly here. You should start from here, complete step by step. Okay. Then explain the process design.
Okay, so the first level of at the first the requester will create the CR, and then once he creates a CR, we will implement parallel workflow techniques to send the CR approvals to finance reviewer, logistic reviewer, and maintenance reviewer. Based on their approval status, we will merge the approvals into a single step to determine if we have to proceed further or go back to the request. That is, if the step is approved or rejected. If rejected, we go back to the requester. If approved, we send the CR to the business reviewer. Again, here at reviewer, we will have the reviewer will have the option to approve or reject the changes. If he approves, then it goes to the enterprise approver. If he rejects, the CR goes back to the requester. Finally, during case of approval, the enterprise approver will have the option to again approve the CR, and once he approves the CR, we trigger an email notification, and finally parallelly an activation is also triggered.
Okay. So small corrections. So here you said a rejection, but in the requirement, there is no rejection. It's just approval. That's it. Only single action. And another thing, yeah, whatever you said, except that one, everything is correct, all good. And another thing is you are just reading out this process and maintaining, getting that into the step-by-step details. That's it. But when we are explaining about the design, meanwhile, you need to add the technical details also. Okay. Here, first you need to start like we'll create rule-based workflow CR type with 4 step. We'll create a BRF plus application. Then here we will split the reviewer step into 3 parallel steps. Then we'll decide based on once all are approved, then we'll merge that and send it to the business reviewer. And once the business reviewer approves, we'll route it to, you just need to change these terms, that's it, nothing much. So whatever you said, it is good. Okay, but small enhancements, that's it. So we'll route the workflow to the enterprise approver. If business reviewer rejects, we need to trigger an email notification to the requester. For triggering the email notification, we will implement this system caller body at this level. And if approves, we'll route it to the enterprise approver. If enterprise approver approves, we'll route the workflow, we'll trigger the activation. And before that, we need to implement one more system caller body for triggering the email notification to the requester. So you just need to add these kind of terms and the technical details in between, then it is fulfilled. That's it. I got it.
Yes, Venkat. Venkat, just one thing. How come during the parallel splits, only approve option is there? I mean, nobody can reject it.
Yeah, that was the one of the requirements from our clients in the past. That was a real requirement. We asked the same question, but they said we'll give the edit access to these people. So there is no way to reject. If they want to change any data, they'll change it and approve. That's it. Because they got that authorization.
Okay, so I think the same thing for enterprise approval also. He just has to approve. He has no
Yeah,
option to
only
reject.
business reviewer don't have the edit access. That's why there is a rejection button. And here there is one more add-on requirement that we will discuss during the UI modeling session. Sorry, business rules session. But I just want to show you, let you know. So here everyone don't get access to edit all the views. Finance reviewer get access to edit only specific view, UIBBs. Logistics reviewer also get access to edit only specific UIBBs. Because if everyone is able to edit all the views, then there is no point of 3 people, right? So we need to restrict the access to the specific UIBBs to every reviewer here. But enterprise approver get access to edit all the views. Okay, that is to reduce some processing time and all, because these people are authorized and well trained, so they know what they want to update. That's it. That we will see during the business rule session, how to restrict the control to the respective ABBs by different people and all those things. Okay, is that clear, guys? Any questions? Okay, moving on. Moving on to the next. Now, I don't tell anything, but I want to hear
Venkat,
from
just
you.
one thing. For the previous scenario, is there a parallel CR scenario also can we implement for create or not
The
possible?
parallel CR is not required for that case.
But is it possible or not possible? Not required is set.
Possible,
Final truth.
possible, but not relevant for that scenario.
Okay, because I remember you said the parallel CR is mostly for change, not for create. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's why I said it is not relevant.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, parallel CR is different. CR means it independent of other CRs, so the CR can be activated. But here in the parallel workflow, the CR can't be activated unless everyone takes the action.
Got
Okay,
it. Yeah.
there is a dependency.
Yeah.
A huge
It's
difference is
individual.
there.
This is a group effort.
Correct. Okay, now I don't want to tell anything about this one. I want to hear from you guys. What is your approach for this? More or less, we had discussed the same scenario in the class also, but I just want to hear you. This is the real-time flow diagram. You will get like this. Small changes will be there because I can't use the exact same terms which was used by the business due to the confidentiality purposes. But more or less, you can see this kind of diagrams. Just spend 2 minutes. Then I will ask the questions. So triggering point is always a requester. So here lead 1, lead 2 means different user agents. That's it. At the same step, different user agents. Nothing much. Okay. Now you can tell me about your approach. You can tell me, explain me at a high level, no issues.
If material type is ROH, there are two steps I can see. One is requester and the other one is procurement manager. If it is non-ROH, I can see 3-step workflow there: requester, procurement lead, and procurement manager. Depends on material type, and for material processing, I can give permissions for procurement lead as an edit. If it is ROH, it's only display rights for procurement manager. Once it is been successful, I can trigger an email notification if there is any rejection from procurement manager, I can send for a revision to procurement lead. If further needs a revision and from procurement lead, I can send for revision to requester. By any chance, if the CR is not worth enough, I can send for a rollback at the level of requester and procurement lead. If everything goes well, then it will be a successful background step. I can go for an activation.
Okay, good. So any other answers from anyone about the design?
First of all, this is a 3 steps workflow, rule workflow. The moment user will submit the request, will go to the procurement level, and there will set condition if the material type is ROH. Then on the basis of that, workflow will split. Workflow will trigger to the for approval purpose for approval, and if it is other, then we will send to the lead to the for approval purpose. The moment team lead, that procurement lead is approved, it will go to that procurement lead manager. And if procurement manager is approved, they will go for that activation and will set up one value for that email notification to the business user. If they rejected, they will go for that procurement lead, or if that or like a procurement lead, that is first one. If they rejected, then we will send for that revision purpose. And the moment request will submit, then it will go for that again for the procurement manager for approval purpose, approval. If that again the workflow is rejected, then we'll set as a set for that rollback or withdraw. Or if it is not, then we'll complete that activation, and that will complete the CR process.
Okay, good. Any other answers before I explain the design? Okay, now let me give my answer. So yeah, you guys said is right. I just want to add a few points. That's it. So we design a 3-step process flow for this. So once the purchaser submits the CR, we need to route this to the procurement lead in the BRF Plus application. So there we need to determine the procurement lead based on the material type. So for that, we need to implement one dynamic agent selection body. There based on the, we need to read the material type, and then we determine who can be the procurement lead based on the business requirement. We route the workflow to the respective lead 1 or lead 2. If it is ROH, we route to lead 1. If it is if it is not ROH, we route it to lead 2. Business will give to whom we need to route it. Once procurement lead approves, we need to route that to the procurement manager, and procurement lead get two negative scenarios. One is a revision and another rejection. If we want some revisions to be done, the workflow can be routed to the requester pack. If procurement lead would like to reject the complete process, then he or she can reject and roll back the CR. Once procurement lead approves, then it will be routed to the procurement manager, and he or she can approve or reject. Once rejects, then it should go back to the previous procurement lead. And once procurement manager approves, we need to trigger an email notification to the requester. For this, we need to implement one system call or baddie at this level, and then we trigger the activation. And requester can resubmit or withdraw the change request. Once requester resubmits the CR, it should go to the procurement manager. That is how you can explain. So just added few points. That's it.
What is the difference between rejection and revise action, Venkat, by that approval?
Those are just the actions that we define. That's it. Technically, they don't have any specific meaning. We just define few actions and we define the process. Nothing else.
Venkat, for middle type or OH, still be considered as a three-step workflow?
This is dynamic agent, not dynamic workflow step. Just to determining the procurement lead,
Hmm.
not determining the step. Okay.
Okay.
Now, few things I have maintained here. Okay. So this is how you will get in the real time. If client don't want to give you the process flow diagram, then it is on you. Mostly this would be this should be drawn by the functional consultant. If any help is needed, you can take the technical consultant help. So if business gives you, they won't give this much high level. They give in detail, like in theory, they won't draw the diagram and give it to you. As a functional consultant, you need to draw the diagram, process flow diagram, by understanding their requirement. If you need any clarification, you can reach out to them. There is nothing wrong. Okay. So once you get this kind of information, then you need to draw the diagram symbol. So this is also one other way how you get the requirement from the business. Okay, here you see this is for BP, and this is again material plants, and this is different again. This is on the priority. Okay, in the BRF plus single validation table, we have the priority column, standard column. Okay, framework will take care how to pass the value to the turnout. Only the thing is we need to see if the values can be populated in the UI or not. Okay, just look at first two. Okay, we'll go step by step. Just see at the first two steps, first two scenarios. I'll be giving this as an assignment. So you guys, if you want to design in the system and practice, yeah, it's up to you. But assignment would be to draw the flow diagram. Both functional and technical, both has to draw the diagrams. Okay, just look at the first two. I'm not going to explain the detailed design process also because these are assignments. If you have any clarification needed, then you can ask me. But if it is related to the approach, design approach, then I won't be telling. I think second one is very straightforward, which we had already did it in the class.
Venkat, here in case of rejection, where will it go? It is not mentioned for first, no?
So
So
if rejection is not mentioned means there is no rejection scenario, simple.
okay, so they
You
will
need
edit
to
it.
have only the approval button on the UI. Rejection button also should not be displayed.
Okay.
But you can ask the same question to the business, nothing wrong, because they might have forgot also. You can just get the clarification from the business. So correct me if our understanding is wrong. So there is no rejection scenario, right? Or was it missed? Something like that, you can just ask the business. No issues.
Okay, Venkat.
Okay, now look at the third and fourth scenarios. So fifth one, it is very complicated one, to be honest. And just ignore the sixth point, reminder emails, that we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. Just look at the first five steps of the fifth scenario. There are so many email notifications. So this is generic. So you can decide the business case on your own, whether you want to go with the material or BP or finance, whatever. You can take call on that. But it should be three-step process flow with the email notifications at a different steps.
Venkat, one doubt about the third point.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that all high priority and low priority, based on that we have to develop that um, uh, kind of a scenario, workflow scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I strongly know that you taught us like with respect to plan device how we can able to develop the workflow steps, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But on this priority request means I hope in the CR user form, user interface, there is a field called high priority, low priority. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that, we have to route the request to the reviewer final approval. That's what you mean here?
Good question. I was expecting that question. So in the CRU header level, we have the priority field. Once you fill in the value to that, so the framework will read that value dynamically and send it to the BRF plus application. You don't need to write any specific code to that. Framework will take care.
Oh, okay.
Okay, framework will give you the value and it will send it to the BRF plus application because that is a standard field.
Okay.
You just need to define the conditions.
Okay, Venkat, I will try then.
Yeah, that looks simple, but not that simple.
Mm,
Yeah, because this is contrast to what we have discussed in the earlier class for the dynamic workflow steps.
yeah, I'm just recalling that the classes.
Yeah,
That's why.
the scenarios, whatever I am showing you now, these are the mixture of multiple topics we have discussed. Email notification, dynamic agent selection, dynamic workflow steps, simple workflow. Okay. So mixture, you just need to correlate. This is how your real-time scenarios are also going to be. Your project scenarios are going to be like this.
Okay. Okay.
Just check these two also. So how to identify whether there is inactive bank data and all, that I will share some code. So for all these requirements, there are some code snippets which has to be implemented by the technical guy. So I will share the code snippets for you. But for now, you just need to think about the process flow diagrams. So you can keep any of these scenarios in your resume. No issues. Okay, now moving on to the next. Nothing. Okay, so those are the various real-time scenarios which involved different uh, process flows and different topics. All are included in that. So I'll be sharing this PPT also, as well as I will be updating the assignments. So I think for workflows, only few assignments were uploaded in the classroom. So I'm not getting much time. I will try to adjust some time and will upload the assignments. But this PPT will be shared with an immediate effect. Okay, so any questions before closing the call?
Venkat, yesterday's training is not uploaded, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
it's taking little time in the Google Drive. I just re-uploaded just now.
Okay.
Mostly by afternoon it will be available.
Yeah, and one more thing about the 25th is a Christmas Monday. So are we going to have a class on Monday or by Tuesday or tomorrow? Any
Oh,
plan?
okay, 25th Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Let me post in the group. If everyone is okay, we can have the class. Otherwise, we can take off on that day.
Okay. Then I believe tomorrow and day after tomorrow there are no classes, right?
No classes. Today I'm traveling to Tirupati.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yes.
I could have some class on either of these days.
Okay. The short period second time you are traveling to Tirupati.
Usually, I travel very frequently.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you
Venkat,
very
now
much.
the rush will be very heavy, right, in Tirupati?
Yeah, tomorrow it's Vaikunta Ekadasi, or we call Mukkoti Ekadasi. So I got the ticket for that, luckily.
Wow.
But yeah, let's see. Anyways, the rush is always there for Tirupati.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is 2 to 3 hours. We go with the special entry, that's a 300 rupees one. And since it is a special occasion, on first day it will be huge rush for sure. But let's see, it might take 5 to 6 hours for sure, as per my guess.
You're not going with family, right? I hope. Your dad
No,
is not well, no? That's why.
no, I am going alone. Usually I go alone only. If
Oh,
any friends join, 1 or 2 people, hardly they join because I don't invite anyone to in first place. I prefer alone only because I have full freedom. Whatever I can eat, I can eat. Yeah, whatever time I want to go, I can go. I don't want to depend on any others. I
yeah,
can
yeah.
plan my own schedule. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I will get the full freedom. Of course, sometimes it's a little bored. That's fine, manageable, not an issue.
Now
Okay,
you
I have a quick
habituated
question.
for this
Huh?
thing. Now you habituated to travel alone.
Yeah, at least till marriage, I can have that privilege. I can have that freedom to travel on my own. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Venkat, one thing that I was logging that server, okay, but frequently I'm getting that reconnecting issues.
No,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I saw
Is
your
it?
screenshot. Night time, they used to do the maintenance sometimes. So then you will get that issues because if you see, I was keep logging in from the class started, but it is not disconnected.
It's like if every 1 minute I'm getting a pause for 10 seconds at least for reconnectivity.
There are two things. One is your network issue, network bandwidth is low. Second thing, they might be restarting the servers multiple times. Any
Uh,
of this.
okay. Might be. So I thought maybe I will check with you.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, thank you then. See you on Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
weekend,
Christmas to
everyone.
all. Happy
Happy,
Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
happy
Bye.
Bye bye.